Hey everyone, thank you for watching my channel. My name's Amanda, and today I made slow cooker creamy cracked chicken soup, and let me tell you, it is so tasty. It's definitely one of those like fall cozy kind of meals, perfect for a cold night, or if you're not feeling well and you want some kind of soup to feel better, this is perfect. It's very tasty and full of flavor. You will absolutely love it. Here's everything you will need for this recipe. It is a low carb and keto friendly slow cooker cracked chicken soup recipe. It is very tasty. You're gonna need cream cheese. You're gonna need this ranch seasoning packet. You're gonna need chicken broth, but use low sodium if you're doing keto version. You're gonna need sharp cheddar cheese. You're gonna need 2 chicken breasts, some bacon, spinach, garlic powder, chili powder, cumin, and I am cooking mine in my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. All right, let's go ahead and get started and make this yummy, tasty soup. It is so good. Now, if you don't have a Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro, you can cook yours in a crock pot or anything that has a slow cooker setting. Definitely use a slow cooker setting. I am adding 2 chicken breasts in. Normally, I like to butterfly mine, but because there is a lot of liquid in this, I am not butterflying mine. So we're just going to go ahead and put the 2 whole chicken breasts in, and we're going to put in 1 block of cream cheese that is 8 ounces, and I am pulling mine apart so that way it will help it with breaking it down easier when it heats up. Now we're going to go ahead and add Hidden Valley Ranch Seasoning Mix Packet, and you're going to use the entire package. I love this. It's so tasty, full of flavor, and it's gluten-free. I love that it's gluten-free. Now add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Add 1 teaspoon of cumin. I used 1 teaspoon of chili powder, but the recipe actually calls for 1 tablespoon of chili powder. Make it your judgment on how much you actually want to add into it. I have kids, so I have to kind of go back and forth on certain ingredients, so that way they will eat it. Now add 6 cups of chicken broth, and if you are making this like a keto version, you're going to use a low sodium chicken broth. I'm using gluten-free for this one. It is nice that there are options for doing this as a keto recipe, and I am making it gluten-free because I am gluten-free. And it is really tasty. Now put the lid on. I am now going to go ahead and set my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. I'm going to cook it on low in a slow cooker setting, and we're going to cook it for 8 hours. If you don't have a Ninja, you can use just a crock pot, and it is perfectly fine as long as it has a slow cooker setting. I love slow cooker meals. It's perfect. I can get things done around the house, which really helps me out as a mom. And it's going to smell so nice throughout the house. There is 4 hours and 30 minutes left on the clock, and we're going to go ahead and start getting the bacon going. I'm going to use a cookie sheet and line it with parchment paper. I'm going to go ahead and cook up this whole packet of bacon because I know we're not going to use all of it on the soup, but I'll probably use it over on the weekend with making something for breakfast. So we're just going to go ahead and put it on the parchment paper and just make it to where it's not completely overlapping, but it's okay if a little bit is overlapping. So we're just going to spread these out on the parchment paper. We're going to go ahead and put the bacon in a preheated oven of 400 degrees, and it can take anywhere from a good 15 minutes to 25 minutes to bake. Go ahead and check it around the 15-minute mark and see if you need a little bit longer. Mine definitely took 25 minutes long to bake it. I didn't want to burn it. I didn't want to overcook it, but it looks perfect. We're going to take a plate and add some paper towels to it and put the bacon on top so that way it'll soak up some of the bacon grease. Look how tasty that looks. I know I could have cooked it in my Ninja and done the sear saute for it to cook up the bacon, but I didn't want it to alter the flavor to the soup. So I cooked it on the cookie sheet and it worked out perfect. I really love doing this way. It does make it a lot easier. Also, the cleanup is really nice too. It does clean up easily as well in the Ninja, but when you're using the Ninja for a slow cooker setting, this works out perfect too. It's great. It cooks well, and I'm not altering the flavor to the soup, which is perfect. Look how tasty that bacon looks, and it smells really good. I'm going to go ahead and let it cool down, and then I'm going to wrap it up and put it away in the refrigerator, and I'll pull it out later and heat it up when we definitely need it. But look how that soup looks. It smells really good right now in my house. You're going to need 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. I'm using a block, so I'm going to shred mine up. We don't need to add it into the soup yet. We're going to add it into the soup towards the end, but I'm just prepping and getting things ready right now because I have time to go ahead and do it. Now that my cheese is all shredded up, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the refrigerator and save it for later. And I'm going to do the same with my bacon, wrap it up, put it in the refrigerator, and pull it out when I need it. We do have an hour left on the clock. This recipe you can cook on low for 6 to 8 hours, and I cooked mine for 8 hours because I wanted it to be nice and soft and really let the flavors just really mix nicely together. But I'm pulling mine out around like the 7-hour mark, and then I'm going to go ahead and shred it up. And I'm still going to keep my slow cooker on low and cooking while I'm shredding up the chicken. Here's how the chicken looks. I'm going to let it cool down before I shred it. And we have about roughly around an hour left on the clock. And here's how the soup looks. Now the cream cheese is really soft, but you're going to have to whisk it into the liquid. And I'm actually taking my immersion blender to it so that way I can speed up this process and really incorporate it into the liquid. You can do either or, it's perfectly fine. If you do have a Ninja, I highly recommend that you be very careful using a metal immersion blender to it so that way you don't scrape up the inside of it. I'm not pushing mine all the way down on the bottom of it, so just be careful. The chicken has finally cooled down, so I'm going to go ahead and start shredding my chicken. And once you have it shredded, go ahead and put it back into your slow cooker. It smells amazing right now. I cannot wait to try this soup. This is definitely a new recipe that I have not tried, and I'm really excited about it. I will have the recipe listed in the description box down below, so that way you can check it out. But it smells really great. I love slow cooker meals. It definitely helps me get things done around the house and still have a nice meal to feed my family for dinner. It's perfect. Now go ahead and put your chicken into the slow cooker. Now add 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. The recipe calls for 2 cups of spinach. I'm using a good amount of it, so you can add as little or as much as you would like to it. This can make it a personal preference. I removed the long stems at the end of mine, and I'm just shredding mine up, so that way it makes it smaller sizes for my children. Now give it a good stir so that way the cheese will melt and everything will mix nicely together and everything will be just so perfectly tasty. This will also cook the spinach and make it nice and soft. This recipe is super tasty and very cheesy, full of flavor. I absolutely love it. Now, however, I have kids and sometimes I need something that's going to have a fuller, thicker staple. So I used rice and I used corn in this dish. That does not make it so very keto friendly, but however, it is perfect too with it. So I added 1 whole can of corn and I drained the liquid and then just dumped it in and just stirred it throughout as well. Put the lid back on and let it cook for the last remainder time on the clock. And I'm going to go ahead and start making my rice and just follow the directions accordingly to the package for whatever rice you use. You don't have to use rice. This was just, I wanted something that could really fill up my kids' bellies by adding this to it. And it was really tasty, this soup. I really love it. I will definitely be making this again. It's full of flavor. It's really rich and creamy. I love it. There's 32 more minutes left on the slow cooker, and I'm just giving it a stir so that way I'm making sure that the spinach leaves are cooking down and the cheese is melting nicely in the soup. Again, if you're doing the keto-friendly version of this soup, switch the chicken broth to low sodium. Don't add the rice. Don't add the corn. I just added this because I know my kids needed more to eat in the soup, and it was really tasty that way too. I decided I wanted to shred some more cheese just to garnish on the top of the soup. That way it makes it really nice and pretty, and the kids love cheese, so it was extra fun for it. I loved it. Now, if you are following a strict keto diet, watch out for the ranch seasoning packet because it may contain sugar. You can try making your own ranch seasoning mix. I will put down in the description box a link for an easy keto recipe for making your own keto ranch seasoning. So that will be down there in the description box for you if you are following a strict keto diet. My rice is done. There's 9 minutes left on the slow cooker. I'm going to go ahead and start plating everything up. I've zapped my bacon in the microwave until it is nice and warm. So let's go ahead and plate these up because it smells amazing and I cannot wait to taste it and eat some of it because I've been smelling it all day while I've been doing housework and it just smells amazing. I wish you could smell it right now, but look how lovely that looks. Ooh, it looks so good and so tasty. I am garnishing mine with some extra cheese on top because who doesn't like a little extra cheese? Or you can chop up some scallions and garnish the top with that. Here's what the soup looks like without bacon on top. You don't have to cook the bacon if you don't want to. It does add a lot of flavor though with the bacon on it. It is really tasty with it. And it's nice because it gives a crunch to it too. But here's me garnishing it with the bacon. And let me tell you, it is fabulous with the bacon. It's got a nice crunch. The soup is amazing. It's so full of flavor. I will be making this again. My kids and my husband, they all loved it. It was so nice and such perfect timing because we needed that type of meal to make us feel better because we are all been feeling under the weather lately. This was perfect. I like this recipe a lot. It was very easy. I love that you can make it keto friendly and having that option to do that or add in other add-ins to make it to your liking. So it's very nice how you can really switch it up. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys like what I made. It's super tasty. It's very delicious. It's full of flavor. Please subscribe and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks guys. Bye.